Sparkles welcome, dear traveler Sparkles. Before we begin our journey tonight, take a moment to settle in. Dim the lights around you. Pull your blanket close. Let the world outside fade away. Take a deep breath in and slowly let it go. Tonight you will walk through a medieval world where love was beautiful and dangerous, where a simple touch could change everything, where hidden illnesses moved silently through villages, through families, through lovers' hands. But do not worry, you are safe here. This is a story to calm your mind, to ease your body, and to guide you gently into the deepest, most restful sleep. Let us begin. You wake up in a medieval village where love is dangerous. You open your eyes. The light is soft, golden, filtered through thick linen curtains. You are lying on a straw mattress, covered with woolen blankets that smell of herbs and smoke. The year is 1347. You are in a small village, somewhere in southern France, in the region of Languedoc. Outside your window, you hear the gentle sounds of morning. A rooster crows in the distance. Wooden cart wheels creak along the dirt road. Someone is singing a slow, melodic tune in Occitan, the language of this land. You sit up slowly. Your body feels heavy, relaxed, as though you have been sleeping for days. The room around you is small, simple. The walls are made of wattle and daub, a mixture of woven sticks and clay, plastered smooth and painted white with lime. In medieval Europe, lime was used to keep homes clean, to prevent insects and to reflect light in dark rooms. The floor beneath your feet is packed earth, covered with rushes and dried lavender. The scent is soft, calming, herbal. Lavender was not just for fragrance. In the 14th century, people believed it protected against illness, especially the fevers and infections that spread so easily. You stand and walk to the window. Through the thick glass panes, you see the village below. Stone cottages with thatched roofs line narrow, winding streets. Smoke rises from chimneys, carrying the smell of burning oak and bread baking in outdoor ovens. In the distance, you see the church, its bell tower rising above the rooftops. The church was the heart of every medieval village. It was where people gathered for mass, for weddings, for funerals. It was also where they came when they were afraid, and they had much to fear. Because in this world, love was dangerous, not because of war or famine or even the plague, though those threats were real. Love was dangerous because of what it could pass between two people: a kiss, a touch, a night spent close together. These small, beautiful moments could carry invisible illnesses, diseases that had no name, diseases that no one spoke of, diseases that destroyed families, ended marriages, and left people shamed and alone. You take a deep breath. The air smells of rosemary, thyme, and something sweet, perhaps honey. You step outside. The cobblestones are cool beneath your bare feet. The morning sun is gentle, not too bright, just warm enough to feel pleasant on your skin. You walk slowly past a neighbor's garden. There are rows of cabbages, onions, and leeks, staples of the medieval diet. A woman is kneeling in the soil pulling weeds. She looks up and smiles at you. Her face is kind, weathered by sun and work. She speaks to you in soft Occitan, words you somehow understand. Good morning. The bread will be ready soon. Would you like some? You nod, grateful. Bread was the foundation of every meal in medieval Europe. Most people ate between 1 and 3 pounds of bread each day. It was made from rye, barley, or wheat, depending on what the land provided. Wealthier families ate white bread, made from refined wheat flour. Poorer families ate dark bread, dense and filling, sometimes mixed with peas or beans to stretch the grain. You walk toward the village square. There is a well in the center made of rough stone. A few women are gathered there, drawing water in wooden buckets. They speak quietly, their voices low and careful. One of them glances at you, then looks away quickly. You feel it. There is something unspoken here, a tension, a secret. In medieval villages, everyone knew everyone. Privacy did not exist. If someone fell ill, everyone knew. If a marriage ended, everyone whispered. And if someone contracted a disease, especially one passed through intimacy, the shame was unbearable. You walk past the women toward a small stone bridge that crosses a narrow stream. The water is clear, cold, rushing gently over smooth stones. You kneel down, cup your hands, and drink. The water tastes clean, fresh, mineral-rich. In medieval times, clean water was precious. Many rivers and wells were contaminated, leading to illness and death. But here, in this village, the water flows from a spring in the hills, untouched by human waste or livestock. It is one of the reasons this village has survived for so long. You sit on the edge of the bridge, letting your feet dangle above the water. The sound is soothing, a soft, constant murmur. You close your eyes and listen. Birds are singing in the trees nearby. A gentle breeze moves through the leaves, carrying the scent of wild flowers and grass. You feel your body relaxing. Your shoulders drop. Your breathing slows. This is a world without clocks, without schedules, without the rush of modern life. Time moves differently here, slowly. Naturally, the sun rises and sets. The seasons change, and people live and love and sometimes suffer in silence. A bell rings in the distance, the church bell. It rings 3 times, marking the hour of terse, mid-morning prayers. In medieval Europe, the day was divided by the canonical hours, times for prayer that structured daily life. Matins at midnight, lauds at dawn, prime at sunrise, terce at mid-morning, sext at noon, none at mid-afternoon, vespers at sunset, compline before bed. Even those who did not attend church lived by these rhythms. You stand and begin walking back toward your cottage. The bread is ready now. You can smell it, warm and yeasty, drifting through the air. The woman from the garden hands you a round loaf, still hot from the oven. You break off a piece. It is soft inside with a thick golden crust. You chew slowly, savoring the taste. Simple, nourishing, perfect. You walk back into your cottage and sit by the window. The light is softer now, shifting as the sun moves higher in the sky. You feel a deep sense of peace. This world, though different, though filled with hidden dangers, is also filled with beauty, with simplicity, with moments of quiet joy. You finish your bread and lie back down on your mattress. The wool blanket is warm against your skin. Outside, the sounds of the village continue, soft and distant. You close your eyes. Your body feels heavy, relaxed. Your mind is calm. You think about the people in this village, how they live, how they love, how they fear what they cannot see. And you understand, because love has always been both beautiful and dangerous. Your breathing slows, deeper, steadier. The sounds of the village fade into a gentle hum. The breeze moves through the curtains, carrying the scent of lavender and rosemary. Your eyelids grow heavy. You drift, down, down, into a deep, restful, peaceful sleep. The hidden diseases that spread silently through lovers' word count. 2,000 words you wake again. But this time it is not morning. The light is softer, amber-colored, filtering through the window at a low angle. It is late afternoon. You have slept through the warmth of the day. Outside, the village is quieter now. The bustle of morning has passed. People are resting, preparing for the evening meal. You sit up slowly, stretching. Your arms above your head, your body feels rested, calm. You stand and walk to the door. Outside, the air is cooler now. A gentle breeze moves through the narrow streets, carrying the scent of wood smoke and herbs. You walk toward the village square again. This time, a man is sitting by the well. He is older, perhaps 50, though in medieval times that was considered quite elderly. Most people did not live past 40 or 50 years of age. Life was hard, illness was common, and medical knowledge was limited. The man looks up as you approach. His eyes are kind but tired. He nods to you, a small gesture of greeting. You sit beside him. For a while, neither of you speaks. You simply sit together, listening to the sounds of the village. Finally, he speaks. His voice is low, gentle. You have heard the stories, have you not? You look at him, curious. He continues. The stories of the lovers who fell ill after being together. You nod slowly. Yes. You have heard whispers. In medieval Europe, there were diseases that no one understood. Diseases that spread through intimacy, through touch, through the closeness of two bodies. One of the most feared was leprosy. Though not always spread through intimacy, leprosy carried such stigma that even the suspicion of it could destroy a marriage. In the 13th and 14th centuries, leprosy was called the living death. Those who had it were forced to leave their homes, their families, their loved ones. They were required to carry a bell or a clapper to warn others of their approach. They could not touch anyone. They could not share food or water or a bed. They lived in leper colonies, isolated from society. But leprosy was not the only disease that people feared. There were others, hidden infections that caused sores, fevers, pain. Diseases that spread from one lover to another, silently, invisibly. In the medieval period, there were infections we now recognize as sexually transmitted diseases. Gonorrhea, syphilis, and others. But people then did not have these names. They did not understand bacteria or viruses. They believed illness came from bad air, from sin, from God's punishment. The man beside you sighs. I knew a young couple once, he says softly. They were married in the spring in the church with flowers and songs. He pauses. By autumn, the man began to feel pain burning when he relieved himself. You listen quietly. He did not tell his wife at first. The man continues. He was ashamed. Shame was a powerful force in medieval society. People believed that illness, especially illness related to intimacy, was a sign of moral failure. By winter, his wife fell ill too. The man's voice is heavy now. She developed sores, fever, pain in her belly. You feel a wave of sadness. The village healer tried to help, he says. She gave them poultices made from plantain and comfrey to soothe the sores. Plantain and comfrey were common medieval remedies. Plantain leaves were used to reduce inflammation and treat wounds. Comfrey was believed to heal skin and bone, but the illness did not leave the man. Says it spread deeper into her womb. In medieval times, infections of the reproductive organs were often fatal. Without antibiotics, the body could not fight the infection. Fevers would rise, pain would worsen, and eventually the person would die. She passed before the snow melted, the man says quietly. You sit in silence. The weight of his words hangs in the air. This was the reality of medieval life. Love, beautiful and tender, could carry invisible dangers. A kiss, a touch, a night together. These could pass illness from one person to another. And once the illness took hold, there was little anyone could do. The man stands slowly. I tell you this, he says, not to frighten you, but to remind you. He looks at you with soft eyes. Love is precious, but fragile. He walks away, his footsteps slow and deliberate on the cobblestones. You remain by the well, watching the light fade. The sun is sinking now, casting long shadows across the square. The sky is turning shades of pink and lavender. You take a deep breath. The air smells of evening, of earth and herbs and distant fires. You stand and begin walking toward the edge of the village. There is a path here that leads into the fields. You follow it. The grass is tall, golden in the fading light. Wildflowers grow along the edges, soft purples and whites. You recognize some of them. Chamomile used to calm the stomach and ease anxiety. Yarrow used to stop bleeding and treat wounds. St. John's wort, used for sadness and melancholy. Medieval people relied on plants for medicine. They had no laboratories, no pharmaceuticals. They learned through generations, through trial and error, which plants could heal and which could harm. You walk deeper into the field. The sounds of the village fade behind you. Now there is only the wind, and the soft rustle of grass, and the distant call of a bird. You lie down in the grass. The earth is cool beneath you. The sky above is vast, endless. Stars are beginning to appear, one by one, tiny points of light in the deepening blue. In medieval times, people believed the stars were fixed in crystal spheres, rotating around the earth. They believed the heavens were orderly, divine, a reflection of God's perfection. You watch the stars emerge, slowly, patiently. Your breathing slows, your body sinks into the earth. You feel held, supported, safe. The grass smells sweet, slightly dry, like summer fading into autumn. The breeze is gentle now, barely a whisper. You close your eyes, and you think about the lovers from the story. How they loved each other, how they suffered in silence, how they were betrayed by their own bodies, and you feel compassion for them, for all the lovers throughout history who faced illness and shame and loss. Your breathing deepens, slower, steadier. The sounds of the evening fade into a soft hum. The earth holds you. The sky above is infinite. Your eyelids grow heavy. You drift, down, down, into a deep, restful, peaceful sleep. When intimacy turns into a deadly risk word count, 2,000 words, you wake once more. This time it is night. The stars are brilliant above you. The moon is full, casting silver light across the fields. You are still lying in the grass, but you are not cold. The night air is mild, gentle, almost warm. You sit up slowly. Everything is quiet, still, peaceful. In the distance, you see the faint glow of firelight from the village, but you do not feel the need to return yet. Not yet. You stand and begin walking, not toward the village, but away from it, toward the forest. The trees rise up ahead, dark shapes against the starlit sky. As you enter the forest, the light changes. The moonlight filters through the leaves, creating patterns of silver and shadow on the ground. The air smells different here, richer, damper, like moss and bark and earth. You walk slowly, carefully. The forest floor is soft beneath your feet, covered in fallen leaves and pine needles. You hear the sounds of the night, crickets chirping, an owl calling softly, the rustle of some small creature moving through the underbrush. In medieval times, forests were places of mystery. People believed they were home to spirits, to fairies, to things unseen. But they were also places of life, of food, of medicine. Forests provided mushrooms, berries, herbs, and game. They were essential to survival. You come to a small clearing. In the center, there is a circle of stones, old stones covered in moss and lichen. You do not know how long they have been here. Perhaps centuries, perhaps longer. You sit on one of the stones. The surface is cool, smooth. You close your eyes and breathe. And you think about intimacy, about how humans have always longed for closeness, for touch, for connection. In medieval times, intimacy was complicated. The church taught that physical love was only acceptable within marriage, and only for the purpose of procreation. Pleasure was viewed with suspicion. Desire was seen as dangerous. But people, being human, desired each other anyway. They fell in love. They touched. They shared their bodies. And sometimes that sharing brought illness. One of the diseases that people feared most was syphilis. Though historians debate whether syphilis existed in Europe before the late 15th century, there is evidence of similar infections earlier. Whatever its name, the disease was devastating. It began with sores, often on the genitals or mouth. Then came fever, rash, pain in the joints. If untreated, it could spread to the brain, the heart, the bones. It could cause madness, blindness, death. And it spread through intimacy, through the act of love. In medieval times, people did not understand how it spread. They did not know about bacteria, about infection, about transmission. They believed it was punishment from God, for sin, for lust, for desire. This belief caused immense suffering, because those who fell ill were not just sick, they were shamed, judged, cast out. You open your eyes, the forest is still around you. The moonlight falls gently through the trees. You think about the young woman from the story, the one who died before the snow melted. She loved her husband. She trusted him. She gave herself to him fully. And in return, she received illness, pain, death. It was not her fault. It was not his fault either. They were simply human, living in a time when knowledge was limited, when medicine was weak, when love beautiful as it was carried invisible risks. You stand and continue walking through the forest, deeper, quieter. The trees grow thicker here. The moonlight barely reaches the ground, but you are not afraid. You feel calm, safe, held by the ancient presence of the forest. You come to a stream. The water is dark, reflecting the stars above. You kneel down beside it. The water is cold, clear, moving slowly over the stones. You cup your hands and drink. The taste is pure, refreshing. In medieval Europe, water was essential, but also dangerous. Rivers and wells could carry disease. People often drank ale or wine instead because the fermentation process killed harmful bacteria. But spring water like this was safe, precious. You sit beside the stream. The sound of the water is soothing. A gentle, rhythmic flow. You breathe in time with it. In, out, in, out. Your body relaxes. Your mind grows quiet. You think about all the people throughout history who have loved, who have risked, who have suffered, and you feel compassion, deep, quiet, unwavering, because love has always required courage in every age, in every place, to open yourself to another person, to trust, to share your body, your heart, your life. That is an act of bravery, even when it carries risk. You lie down beside the stream. The grass is soft beneath you. The sound of the water fills your ears. The stars above are infinite. Your breathing slows, deeper, steadier. The forest holds you. The earth supports you. The night embraces you. Your eyelids grow heavy. You drift down, down, into a deep, restful, peaceful sleep. Judgment, shame, and the social fallout of infection word count. 2,000 words. You wake to the sound of bells, church bells, ringing slowly, solemnly. You open your eyes. You are no longer in the forest. You are back in your cottage. The light is dim, gray, filtering through the window. It is dawn, but the sky is overcast. Heavy clouds hang low over the village. You sit up and listen. The bells continue to ring. Slow, steady, mournful, someone has died. In medieval villages, death was a constant companion. Life expectancy was short. Illness was common. And when someone died, the whole community mourned. You dress slowly in a simple woolen tunic and cloak. The fabric is rough but warm. You step outside. The air is cool, damp. It smells like rain. The streets are quiet. People are making their way toward the church. Men, women, children, all dressed in their best clothes, somber and silent. You join them, walking slowly, respectfully. No one speaks. The only sound is the bells and the soft shuffle of feet on stone. Inside the church, the air is thick with incense, frankincense, and myrrh. The scent is heavy, almost overwhelming, but it is meant to purify, to cleanse, to prepare the space for the sacred. Candles flicker along the walls, casting dancing shadows. The altar is draped in black cloth. A coffin rests before it. Simple, wooden, unadorned. You take a seat on one of the wooden benches. The wood is hard, worn smooth by countless worshippers. The priest enters. He is an old man with a long white beard and kind eyes. He begins to speak. His voice is low, resonant. He speaks in Latin, the language of the church. You do not understand all the words, but you feel their weight, their gravity. He speaks of life, of death, of judgment, of mercy. In medieval Christianity, death was seen as a passage from this world to the next. The soul would be judged, weighed, and sent either to heaven or to hell, or for most people to purgatory, a place of waiting, of purification, of hope. The priest finishes his prayer, then he speaks in the common tongue, French, so that everyone can understand. This woman, he says, lived a good life. She was kind, faithful, devoted to her family, But she suffered. She suffered from an illness that brought her shame. The church is silent. Everyone knows. Everyone has heard the whispers. The woman in the coffin died from an infection, one that she contracted from her husband, who had been with another woman before their marriage. He did not know he was ill. He did not know he carried the infection. But when he married, he passed it to his wife. And she, innocent, loving, trusting, became ill. She developed fever, pain, sores that would not heal. She sought help from the village healer, who gave her tinctures of willow bark for the pain and poultices of honey and garlic to fight the infection. Willow bark contains salicin, a compound similar to aspirin. It was one of the few effective pain relievers available in medieval times. Honey was used for its antibacterial properties. Garlic was believed to purify the blood, but none of it was enough. The infection spread into her womb, into her blood, and eventually it took her life. But worse than the pain was the shame, because people knew. They whispered, they judged. They said she must have been sinful, that she must have deserved it, that God was punishing her, even though she had done nothing wrong. The priest's voice breaks the silence. We must remember, he says, that illness is not always a sign of sin. Sometimes it is simply the fragility of the body, the weakness of the flesh. We are all in the end mortal. His words hang in the air, gentle, true, compassionate. You feel tears prick your eyes for this woman, for all the women and men throughout history who have been judged for their illnesses, who have been shamed, cast out, blamed, when they were simply human. The service ends. People file out slowly, quietly. You remain seated, watching the candles flicker, feeling the weight of the moment. Outside, the rain has begun, soft, steady, falling gently on the cobblestones. You step out into it. The water is cool on your skin, refreshing, cleansing. You walk through the village, past the closed doors, the shuttered windows. Everyone is inside, now sheltering from the rain, from the sadness. You walk to the edge of the village, to the fields. The grass is wet, glistening. The rain falls softly, rhythmically. You stand still and let it wash over you. The rain was sacred to medieval people. It was God's blessing. It nourished the crops. It filled the wells. It sustained life. And in this moment, it feels like mercy, like grace. You close your eyes and you breathe deeply, fully. You think about judgment, about shame, about how quick people are to condemn what they do not understand. And you make a quiet promise to be more compassionate, to be more understanding, to remember that everyone is fighting battles, seen and unseen. The rain continues to fall. Soft, steady, eternal, you stand in it, letting it cleanse you, letting it renew you. Your breathing slows, deeper, calmer. The sound of the rain is hypnotic, soothing, peaceful. Your body relaxes. Your mind grows quiet. The world fades, and all that remains is the rain, the earth, the breath. Your eyelids grow heavy. You drift down, down, into a deep, restful, peaceful sleep. Could you survive a romantic relationship in the Middle Ages? Word count, 2,000 words. You wake one final time. The rain has stopped. The sky is clear now, washed clean. The sun is rising, painting the horizon in shades of gold and pink. You are lying in the grass at the edge of the village. The earth beneath you is damp but not cold. The air smells fresh, new, alive. You sit up slowly, everything. feels different now, lighter, clearer. You have walked through this medieval world. You have seen its beauty, its simplicity, its dangers, and now you understand. Love in the Middle Ages was not simple, it was not safe, but it was deeply human. You stand and begin walking back toward the village. The streets are waking up, doors are opening, people are stepping outside, blinking in the morning light. A child runs past you laughing. A woman hangs laundry on a line, the cloth bright and clean. A man leads a cow toward the pasture, whistling a tune. Life continues, as it always has, as it always will. You walk to the well in the center of the square. You draw water and drink. It is cold, pure, refreshing. You sit on the edge of the well, and you ask yourself the question, could you survive a romantic relationship in the Middle Ages? You think about what that would require. Trust, even when knowledge was limited. Courage, even when risks were real. Compassion, even when judgment was harsh. Love in medieval times meant accepting uncertainty. You could not test for infections. You could not cure most diseases. You could only hope and trust and care for each other as best you could. Medieval couples who loved each other, truly loved each other, learned to live with risk. They knew that intimacy could bring illness, but they chose connection anyway. They chose each other. Because the alternative, isolation, loneliness, was worse than the risk. You think about the young woman who died, and her husband who carried guilt for the rest of his life. He did not mean to harm her. He did not know he was ill, but he loved her. And after she died, he never remarried. He spent the rest of his days caring for their children, working the fields, praying, remembering. That too was love. You take a deep breath. The morning air fills your lungs. You think about modern times, about how much has changed. We have medicine now, antibiotics, vaccines, tests that can detect infections before they spread. We have knowledge, science, the ability to prevent and cure diseases that once killed millions. And yet, love is still risky. Intimacy still requires trust. Vulnerability still demands courage. Because even with all our knowledge, we cannot eliminate uncertainty. We cannot guarantee safety. We can only choose to connect, to open ourselves, to love despite the risks, just as people have always done. Throughout history, in every age, in every place, you stand and you begin walking, not back to your cottage, but forward, toward the edge of the village, toward the road that leads beyond. You do not know where it goes, but you are not afraid. You have learned in this journey that life is uncertain, that love is fragile, that every connection carries risk, but also that beauty exists in the midst of danger. That joy can be found even in the hardest times. That compassion is the greatest gift we can give to ourselves and to others. You walk slowly. The sun is fully risen now, warm on your face, gentle on your skin. The road ahead is empty, quiet, peaceful. You feel your body relaxing, your shoulders drop, your breathing slows. You are not in a hurry. There is nowhere you need to be, nothing you need to do. You are simply here, walking, breathing, being. The world around you is soft. The colors are muted, gentle. The sounds are distant, faint. You feel yourself drifting, not into sleep, but into a state of deep peace, a state of complete relaxation. Your mind is quiet. Your heart is calm. You walk, and with each step you feel lighter, freer, more at ease. The road curves ahead, disappearing into a grove of trees. You follow it, into the shade, into the coolness, into the quiet. The trees here are old, ancient. Their trunks are thick, their branches high. Sunlight filters through the leaves, creating patterns of light and shadow. You walk deeper into the grove, and then you stop, because ahead of you there is a place to rest. A soft bed of moss, green, thick, inviting. You walk to it and lie down. The moss is softer than any mattress. It cradles your body, supports you, holds you. Above you, the leaves rustle gently in the breeze. The sound is like a lullaby, soft, rhythmic, eternal. You close your eyes and you breathe deeply, fully. You feel gratitude for this journey, for this story, for the lessons learned. You think about the medieval lovers, their courage, their love, their humanity, and you send them across the centuries a quiet blessing. May they be remembered. May they be honored. May they rest in peace. Your breathing slows, deeper, steadier. The sounds of the forest fade into a gentle hum. The light through the leaves grows softer, warmer, golden. Your body sinks into the moss, into the earth, into peace. Your mind is empty, quiet, still. There is nothing to worry about, nothing to fear, nothing to do. You are safe. You are held. You are loved. The breeze moves through the trees, soft, gentle like a whisper. Your eyelids grow heavy, so heavy you drift. Down, down, into the deepest, most restful, most peaceful sleep. And there you remain, held by the earth, watched over by the stars, wrapped in the gentleness of the night. Safe, calm, at peace. Sleep well, dear traveler, sleep deeply. And may your dreams be soft and kind and full.